Our next speaker is Salmo Kalam. He's a 24-year-old Rohingya youth who arrived in Australia in 2013 with his younger brother, who was just 7 at the time. As of today, Salmo has been made stateless by the Myanmar government for 24 years, even though his ancestors have lived on that land for centuries. The Rohingya people are the indigenous people of the state of Arakan and were the first settlers. Salmo chose to come to Australia because he thought it would be the best, most humane country in terms of granting human rights to others. Please welcome Salmo.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank the whole Australian community, to all of you, to all the brothers and sisters here. My thought was right. I thought the best nation, the best country would be Australia, because this is the country looked after the animals, after the everything about the humanity, about the people, and they care even about the fish in the sea. So when I get to know this, I know that this is the best country made by its people. And that's why I want to say thank you very much to all of you. And my life was, and still today I am a stateless. I was born as a stateless, even though knowing I am the indigenous and the first settler of my of Arakan state, which is in Burma. And we are totally restricted to practice our religion. We are restricted to move from one place to another place. We are restricted to study in school. And you can imagine of a person or a group of people if they are restricted in every part of their movement for the sake of their development, or to catch up the world's education. And first of all, as the citizenship were denied in 1982, and I born in 1990, so I was born as a stateless. And there are many other who are who born as a stateless and still today. And how a person could survive in this world being stateless without a document? What is the most important thing in human life? And I studied that as a practical, as what I experienced. Document is the most important thing. Whether it is a poor nation, whether it is a rich country, it's not the issue. Because people have their mind to get where they want to reach, but without a document, he can reach nowhere. And those who are lucky like me reach in Australia, as with the boat, with struggling from a journey to another journey, seeking the best people who can help me. And there is a lot more, like the total majority of Rohingyas, about more than 1 million, almost 2 million above people already flee from the country since 1978. And the persecution and genocide being run systematically, slow genocide. Even the United Nations seems like paralyzed on the issue of Rohingya, even the media. And I just posted in the Facebook 2 days ago, I asked United Nations should have their own media, broadcasting free channel in every country. Because we are the most persecuted. Sometimes small issues become very big in front of us, and we are all thinking about that. But the biggest issue behind that is not covered. And I came here with my younger brother, who was 7 years old during that time, and now he is 10. He was born in Malaysia. Even in Malaysia, as he born there, he didn't get his rights to study in school. When he was 7 years old that time, he didn't allow her to study in the school. And my parents, my mom, sacrificed her love. And she says, bring him with you to Australia. He can study there. And today he is studying. Even we were in detention center in Darwin, he was studying. And today I am studying engineering technical. And I feel very proud to being a part of this family, to learn from this community. There is a teacher who taught me about humanity, about the human rights. Her name is Anka. She is also from Australia, and I don't know what is her benefit doing that to me, and I never felt before. She comes to Auburn, teach me, and going back, and here you are today, and people just like us. Everything is new in my life, and what I have been learning from the book, like whatever the book I reading, there is no book teach to hate the others. There is no book teach to kill the others. There is no book teach to betray or doing something wrong to the other people. It is taught to help, and this is the place, this is the country where I am getting benefit. And I'm still waiting for the permanent residency, or maybe temporary, or maybe safe. But I hope it is permanent, because not only for me, it is, I mean, for the whole people. When I was coming from Malaysia, 2 boats was drowning, and I proved that I love Australia so much, even though knowing the boat could be drowned, knowing that smugglers could sell me in any place, could beat me, and like the other women in Thailand, where Rohingya women were sold to the prostitute by force, and even in India, even in Indonesia, lots of things happens with the refugees during their journey. By knowing everything, I tried to come here because I thought this will be my last journey. Either I will reach, for example, to my love, or either I will drown in the sea, it's no problem. Because I have seen so many people that on my similar status, they are getting older, 40 years, 50 years in Malaysia, in Thailand, in some countries like that, but still they don't have their own car, they don't have their freedom speech, they can't make their children to study in the school, they can't take a car license, they don't know how to play with the phone, they don't know how to play with them like iPhone or Samsung Galaxy, something like that kind of phone, and they don't know how to use the Facebook even. So this is not their fault. This is the fault of the people who make them like that. And if the world making people uneducated, and the world or any kind of place make people uneducated and restrict them to develop, that means this world is not developed. That means we are all affected with that. It is not only them. Because as a human, we benefit from each other, we learn from each other, we help each other, and that is the most important thing which I believe, that there should be no restrictions in any way to anybody, that they can improve themselves, and we can improve ourselves, and we improve the planet we are living together. And I learned all of these things from you, from the Australians. I was nothing before. And today, even I am still learning, and I want to learn more from the Australian community. And about the government, I don't know about any government. I know that the majority of that nation build the country, and this is the best country that's building everything in the best way. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. Does anybody have any questions to direct specifically at Salimul?
Hi, Salim, could you tell us a little bit about what your life was like in your country and how you came to Australia? Just a little bit.
Yeah. My life in my country, when I was 7 years old, I was beaten by the military. It is just 7 years old. And I was locked up in a room, and the mirror was a mirror is opened, so people can see from outside, but they cannot come inside. Just like that mirror, but the cloth is open, and people seeing that, because it is like I mentioned, like the United Nations mentioned, Rohingya is the most persecuted minority. They want to clean the Rohingya from Arakan state, and they're doing everything possible. They giving hate speech in school, in kindergarten school, in high school, in college. They using religious speech. They using political speech, religious speech by monk, which are doing good for their government. So the government, it is not the fault of the religious, it is fault of the government which is doing this to influence the people to clean the Rohingyans. And when I was 7 years old, I was beaten in that way, and I came out of that country, I flee from that country, Myanmar to Bangladesh, Bangladesh to Thailand, Thailand to Malaysia. And all through this journey, I was very lucky. There is a people who are stuck in some place for 30 years, for 20 years, for 5 years, because having no documents. Some people are, because going to some countries without documents is not an easy thing. It's not easy to survive from the police, it's not easy to survive from the smugglers, it is not easy to survive from the people who are bad like gangs, it is not easy to survive from the people who are looking for benefit, who are poor or trying to cut hand and put in the street to beg. And my journey to Australia, when I was coming with my 7 years old brother, I tell him that we are going to a tourism, like a tourism we are going to enjoy. And he thought, yes, we are going to enjoy, because he likes to see geography like animals, fish. I says, we are going to see fish and everything, would you like to go? He says, yes. And wherever we are going, I always show that we are safe, because I know that if he is not safe, if he feels not safe, it will be hard for me to save him, or save from the journey, or save from the people, and will make my mind more slower to see the around me. So I always pretend like we are going everywhere as a tourism. And he was brave, he always listened to me, and we came here. And in Malaysia, I spent my life since 1997 until 2012. In these years, I couldn't study in a school like today I'm studying in TAFE, but there I couldn't study in a place like an official place, just in a tutor, in a home. Then I couldn't mix up with the people properly with the documents to go everywhere. But I learned a lot with the people surrounding me. I learned 6 languages. I can speak 6 languages because I always try to be a family of everyone I meet. And I want to learn more.